The basketball gods once again punished the Detroit Pistons for another pitiful season. We'll talk about my reaction to the draft lottery in just a moment.
Lane, skies a jam. Dynamite dunk and the crowd loves it.
Welcome back to Pistons Intellect. I'm your host, Jack Kelly. You can follow me on Twitter at Jack_Kelly_313. You can also follow us over on Instagram at Pistons_Intellect. And as always, if you're feeling so kind, please hit that subscribe button. We have some news today. And if you don't laugh, you cry with this franchise. It's really gotten to that point. And today, the NBA had their draft lottery. I'm recording this. You'll probably be seeing this the morning after the draft lottery, where the Detroit Pistons, after once again finishing with the worst record in the NBA and having the best odds technically at picking first overall, fall to pick 5. And I don't even know where to start. I'm going to get into the positive and my kind of thoughts even before the lottery on what I think should be done with the pick. But just in terms of us Pistons fans, I think it's incredibly important to just kind of address just for much of probably the past month or 2 months, and especially since the season's finished, there's been a lot of jokes online about the Pistons and how the Detroit Pistons always fall to pick 5. This is now the third year in a row they've fallen to pick 5. And, there was, lots of people oh, well, who should we take at pick 1? Is Sarr the guy? Is Ron Holland the guy at 2? But then a lot of people always say, oh, well, it doesn't matter, we're falling to pick 5. And I used to think those jokes were funny, but I truly did not think we would be back here for the second year straight with Detroit getting the worst possible outcome with picking 5. For those that aren't aware, the team that finishes with the worst overall record in the NBA, the lowest they can fall is pick 5. So the Pistons have done that 2 times in a row. Now, some might say, well, Jack, when you look at the lottery odds, the Pistons have a 14% chance to hold the pick, 13% chance at pick 2, 12.7% chance at pick 3, 12% chance at pick 4, and then the majority of the percentage will tell you that the Pistons will pick 5 with 48% chance. But just based on how last year went and the fact that no team, I don't even think any team since the lottery odds were changed, which I believe was in 2019. So no team in the past 5 years or past 4 years before the Pistons last year had fallen that far when they had the worst record. So I know we're still early on in these new lottery odds, but it's just so fitting that the Pistons, not only do they become the first team in NBA history to fall from pick 1 to pick 5, but they back it up once again after having arguably the worst season in NBA history and in franchise history. They once again fall to 5th. And you know what? The draft, it was at a weird time this year. It just feels like this whole draft and the lottery process, it's kind of just gone under the radar because obviously there's no Victor Wembanyama, there's no Zion Williamson, there's no Cade Cunningham, there's no even Paolo Banchero or Chet Holmgren. So it was weird. This for me in Australia, the lottery was on at 5 a.m. I normally get up at 5 a.m. in the morning regularly, so I didn't really plan too much to get up and kind of do a live stream or I just wanted to wake up, quickly watch this before I go to the gym or something. And it was just, I don't know, man. I feel for Pistons fans, truly. I really do. I personally don't really care about this draft. I know there's plenty of importance on what the Pistons do, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but I just feel for Pistons fans because this is meant to be the one night where Pistons fans get that hope restored after such a dismal season. When the Pistons got that first overall pick in 2021, man, I will never forget that day. When I knew the Pistons had a real chance at getting Cade Cunningham and they were probably going to take him when they won the lottery, that was the highlight of my Pistons fandom. So the lottery for us fans in the past 4 to 5 years has been our Super Bowl. It has been our Game 7. And, people will laugh at us, but to have 2 years back to back have this result, it's just I just feel sorry for Pistons fans. And like it's just I didn't get super frustrated today because, like there isn't, like I said, the top tier talent, and there are some benefits out of not getting that first overall pick, kind of. But just overall, man, it's just another kick in the guts. And it just, after the season we've had, like I really just wanted to, on that final day of the season, it was kind of like, all right, that's done now. Let's move on. And, it's just the way things have gone the past, I want to say since Kay's injury, really. Like, in particular last season, it's just like, just when you think it can't get worse, it does. Like, and, like this isn't probably a franchise altering draft, but it's just like, if there's a worst possible outcome to be served, the Pistons, they will be there. They'll be first in line, and they just continue to set records for all the wrong reasons. And, it's just, yeah, I just truly feel for Pistons fans because, yeah, this is the one day where it's like, in my mind, I thought the Pistons would get pick 3. That's honestly what I thought last year. Like, I thought, as much as I wanted Victor Wembanyama and fantasize about that as a fan, like, ultimately I just thought, well, the Pistons will get in the top 3 and they fall to 5. And then this year I thought that there's just no way they can fall out of the top 3. Like, and once again, as I said, they get the worst possible outcome. And yeah, I mean, when you look at the footage, Asar Thompson just covers his mouth and you can see him smiling, half laughing. And I assume that's because he's like all of us. He's aware of, he would see everything online. Like I see if I tag him an Instagram story, he will check an Instagram story if you tag him. So I know he sees all the stuff online, you would assume, about the jokes about the Pistons. It's impossible to miss. So, to see him kind of laughing in what I assume is kind of like disbelief. That's just, yeah, it's kind of sad. It's funny. It's sad. It's just frustrating. So, like I'm not going to like yell and get super emotional because this isn't a draft. Like, I don't think if the Pistons got the first overall pick and got Alex Sarr, like, I don't think that's making that much of a difference. I truly don't. I actually, even though I'm kind of been a bit lower on Jalen Duren, like, there's a real argument to be made between Jalen Duren and Alex Sarr. Like, if Alex Sarr doesn't figure out the rebounding and doesn't figure out his full offensive potential and what he's going to be there, like, I don't know. Like, there's just so much unknown, and like it's hard to be, for me at least, to get really upset that at the fact that Pistons won't get a shot at taking someone like Alex Sarr, because I'm just not, I'm not that super high on him. I think he's going to be a good player, but just in terms of first overall picks, I'm not losing any sleep. But yeah, it's just more like the fact that it's just another kick in the guts for Pistons fans. And I truly just, we all tune in. Anyone who watches this show, like, I appreciate you. And like, because these are the nights, like I said, where we're meant to regain that hope and the momentum builds for the offseason excitement. But, whether it's the draft or this president of basketball operations position, which is just turning into a bit of a circus. And I'll talk more about that on my episode tomorrow. But it just feels like there's no momentum being built. Like, and the season's now been done for like a month and a half or whatever it is. And it's just like, tonight was meant to be when the good positive vibes start and we get the worst possible outcome. So that's kind of how I feel about it. Let me know how you feel. I've spoken to plenty of people on Twitter and on Instagram, and obviously everyone's frustrated and in disbelief, but let me know how you're feeling in the comments below. But I just wanted to kind of round this out with like one positive. And the one positive of the Pistons falling to pick 5. Now, I think even if they get the first overall pick, I think they should trade it. I'm sure there is going to be 1 or 2 players in this class that become all-stars. There might even be a superstar in there somewhere. But I think, like, from what I've read online from people I kind of go to read draft content, it just feels like you can find that player anywhere, in the lottery, in the first round. Like, so for me, trade the pick, I think. And the reasons why, not only do you trade the pick because you want to try get a more established player to come help this team. Maybe you package someone like Jaden Ivey in the 5th pick and see what you can get. Maybe it's Jalen Duren, Jaden Ivey, and pick 5. Maybe it's, put together young player plus pick or just a pick to try and go get a more competent player to put around Cade Cunningham. Not only can you do that, but this is the key piece here, which smart people like Sam Vecini from The Athletic have highlighted a couple of weeks ago. And it's kind of how I've formed my opinion on trading the pick. And if you get the first overall pick, you sign them to what was last year. Victor Wembanyama signed a 4-year, $55 million contract, all guaranteed, no options. So for Victor Wembanyama, fuck yeah, that's an incredible deal. For Cade Cunningham, incredible deal. Brandon Miller, the second overall pick last year, 4 years, $49 million. Incredible deal. Great value. But if in this class, Alex Sarr, 4 years, $55 million, more of a project player. Ron Holland, if you were to take him in with the 5th pick, you're looking at the Pistons. They will, whoever they take at pick 5, they will sign a 4-year, $40 million contract. So the Pistons, I think they have, I've forgotten actually, but they have the most cap space, and I believe it's about $65 million. Correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am, but if the Pistons got that first pick, or if they keep their pick 5, you're already committing $10 million of that to your draft pick. So by trading the pick, you get that additional cap space. And because I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. The president, the GM position, president of basketball operations, it's all up in the air right now. We don't know who's coming in to take that position and what they're going to do. But I just think you trade it, because I think you need as many competent players as possible around Cade and whichever ones of the young core you decide to keep. And I just don't feel like giving another $10 to $15 million of the cap to a young player from this draft. Now, I'm sure a lot of you disagree with me. That's just my opinion, and that's why I want to trade it. And that's why I think it's a positive that the Pistons fell to 5, because I think it's now even more likely they trade the pick. And whilst pick 5 doesn't have much value as pick 1, I feel like if the Pistons got pick 1, there's a chance they take a player, and maybe they maneuver other players around it. But I mean, even in the case that the Pistons decide to keep their pick 5, it's $5 million less overall, which doesn't seem like a lot, but at least on an annual basis, first overall pick gets around $13 million in their first year, and the 5th gets around $8 million. So look, not massive numbers, but I just think that's one positive out of the situation. Not the biggest, greatest positive, and a huge factor for making a decision on whether you trade or keep it, but I just think it's positive in what's a bit of a dark time. So that's kind of all I've got on this. Not too angry, frustrated, upset for the fan base. And yeah, it kind of just leaves me thinking, like, when is this going to change? Like today's not even like me having a go at like Troy Weaver, Tom Gores, Monty Williams, like nothing to do with them. This is just like, it honestly feels like the basketball gods are just punishing this franchise for being so bad. Like, because the Pistons were trying to win last season, at least up until kind of, after the trade deadline. I felt like the whole time they're trying to win. It wasn't until after the trade deadline players were starting to be rested and looked after. So, I don't have much more, guys. But thank you for tuning in. As I dropped in the community notes the other day, apologies for the lack of content recently. I've just been trying to figure out my schedule going forward so I can keep consistent content coming for you. And what I've landed on is from now and for the rest of the off season definitely till the end of like summer league, my plan is to pump out episodes which will be ready to watch on Tuesdays and Friday mornings for you guys in the US. And in Australia, for people here, I'll be recording these on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. So check the community notes, but a couple of videos every week should be coming out regularly for you guys to tune into, as well as videos like this for any breaking news or major events. So thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching today. And as always, go Pistons.